So, hello, welcome to Madhouse Tattoo in Stanstead, Abbotts, Hertfordshire. It's a tattoo shop I happen to own, which is lucky, otherwise we'd be done for breaking and entering and other bad jokes. What I want to do today is I want to talk to people who are tattooed, have been tattooed, and their reasons for it. I want to talk to some mental health industry professionals about how they see tattooing as part of a recovery process, or even just a process to make sure that they have some way of coping. A lot of my customers over the last 20 years have come in to talk to me about their lives, about what they do, about who they are. And by doing that, they get some kind of relief with the pain they're going through, the picture they end up with, but also the conversations they have with the tattooist and with me. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to introduce Nicky, who is sat opposite me. Nicky is somebody who has been a customer of ours since we started 12 years ago. And I know that she has a story. Hello, Nicky.
Hi.
Now, you sent me a message before we started all this, and you said the reason why you started getting tattooed. Can you remember what that was? What's the reasoning behind the beginning of your tattoo journey?
The beginning was, I was in my early 30s, so I might be considered fairly old to start getting tattooed. I went through quite a lot of bullying from a young age, coercive control, relationship, and I got to the point where I hated the way I looked. And it was a way to deface my body in a pretty way.
Deface, that's a weird word to use. Do you mean, right, so did you see it as defacing yourself because inside you didn't like the way you looked? So did you see that as a way of changing the way you looked or ruining more the way you looked? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, so at the time, it didn't occur to me that was the reason I was doing it. It's something I was aware of later on, why I'd started. I thought it would improve by having something pretty put on me, I thought it would improve how I felt about myself in the mirror. Okay.
Was that, so that the conscious decision, because that's quite a large decision to take in your 30s, right? Yeah. I'm now going to get tattooed. So I can relate in a way. My first tattoo is a huge cross on my arm. I had that when I was 18. Always been the little fat kid, or actually the big fat kid. Always had people suggesting maybe that my size controlled who I was and all of that. So then I thought, okay, I can get tattooed. I can make myself look better. Instead of looking at the real problems, I thought I could mask what was going on. So that thought process that you first had was to put something pretty on you to make you pretty.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so where are you at now with this process? Now you've been tattooed a lot. You have like full coverage on a lot of you. How do you feel about your tattoos now?
They're my life story. They're everything that I've survived or come through, everything I've achieved. Some are commemorative, some are, special moments in my life. I found a love of certain types of sport and I've got them tattooed on me. So now they're a life story. And I'm happy to show them off. I used to have them all very hidden away in like hidden areas. And now, yeah, it's my journey. So.
What do you think has changed for you to perceive your body and your tattoos in a completely different way to when you started? What's changed for you now?
I've learnt to be happy with who I am, and I can make the changes that I need to from within rather than on the outside.
Okay.
And yeah, I think as you get older, you become more comfortable with who you are, and you learn how to make the changes if you're not comfortable with who you are. Whereas when you're younger, there's not really the guidance there to help you with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you think now we're, I'm older than you, but, now that you've reached that age where you've kind of plateaued, you're looking at the causes of what made you upset and what made you have, a turbulent time. Do you think that you'll stop getting tattooed now?
No.
You see, that's the same as me.
No.
I've got a sodding great neck tattoo that Talon, who works here, did for me, which is beautiful, but it's really painful. And I know how painful that is. Right, but yet I still go through it all. I still come and get more. So what's the reasoning for you now getting tattooed when, okay, I'm not saying that all of our problems just vanish. And I'm not saying that we're not able to come to terms with things and deal with them, but you no longer have the same onus, do you, on tattooing as a way of escape?
No. Like, for example, my latest tattoo, which I had done here, was to commemorate the fact I'm getting married soon. So good things happen, and I want to put them on my body. But also, I don't feel the pain that I used to.
Yeah.
So this neck one, I was like nodding off. I don't feel the
annoying.
same pain.
That's annoying. I was crying like a small child through most of it, as Callum will have heard. The only thing, you used to feel pain a lot more than you do now.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just age or I've become more calm. But I used to. When I started getting tattoos, I realised that the pain was actually making me feel better. So I never really understood self-harming, but I wonder if it was a form of that to start with.
Could be.
But now I'm a lot calmer and happier in life. Perhaps I just don't feel the pain, and I can zone out and get my breathing under control. But I used to come in here and I was going the whole way through it.
Damn strange noises, quite frankly. I think when you're inside of a situation, sometimes you just need a respite. Sometimes you just need to feel something else. I mean, it's well documented. I used to have a problem with drugs and all of that. Now, the reason that I took a lot of drugs is so I didn't have to focus on the bullshit that was around me and all the things I couldn't deal with. So I just got out of my face. And, obviously that made me a marvellously better human being. Yeah, of course it did. But, the reason for that was escapism. The reason for my tattooing as well is, I'm covered, right? But I do own a tattoo shop, but it kind of goes with the territory. But what I'm thinking is that as I get older, I'm enamored with the fact that I can look at my palms and they've got tattoos on them. I'm enamored with the fact that I can have somebody, as good as Mickey, as good as Talon, they will tattoo me and I can keep them forever. And, we're going to talk to other people who have different types of tattoos and who, have full-on coverage. But that escapism I no longer need. I'm wondering, though, do I still need it, but I've managed to justify it in a different way? Do you think there's any part of you that still wants to hide behind your tattoo?
There must be, I think. Yeah. There's not many, I'm 47, there's not many women my age who are covered as much as me, from what I've seen. And I think I've embraced the fact that maybe I'm a bit different from other women my age. And I think that's where the big switch was in me, was that instead of trying to fit in, I've continued to get more tattoos that were more visible because I was embracing being a bit different.
Yeah.
And that was quite a pivotal time in my adult life.
So you went from trying to conform to something that you weren't, to realising you didn't have to?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going? So now, the thing is, when you're in a situation that you think is untenable, when you're younger and everything's on top of you, you think you're not going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Now we're older, whatever experience that we have, whatever hits us, normally our thinking isn't we're never going to come out of this. Our thinking is there'll be a way through, we'll find a way. I don't use tattooing as a crutch now, but I do still enjoy the process. And I think when I did use it as a crutch, it just took over to the point where now, when I had something to celebrate. So, Perfect Distortion was the band that did the thing, there's their logo on my arm. And it became something that I could then champion. So you've done, you do an awful lot of sport, an awful lot of running, and you've got tattoos that show that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it a celebration of what you're doing now instead of something you want to hide behind?
Yeah. Remember the first triathlon I ever did, when I crossed that finish line, I thought I couldn't do it. And I probably came last and I cried, but I thought I need to put that on my body because it's an achievement.
That's huge.
That I'm proud of.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that, what's the word, sort of well done from any friends or family.
Right.
So I thought I need to provide that reassurance that I've done well for myself.
Yep.
And put it on my body, so I don't need that reassurance from other people around me.
So that celebration is self-centered is the wrong words, but so it comes from you.
Yeah.
To congratulate yourself, because however close we are to people and whatever relationships we have, at the end of the day, if we're not at peace with ourselves about what we're doing, or congratulatory, then we can't expect others to congratulate us for the same levels of things we do, because they don't know what our perspective is. So now, instead of it being a negative, it's very much a positive thing.
Yeah.
Why did you pick tattooing at the beginning to cover up? I mean, it's obvious, but you're literally covering your body. But then why not just cover up with more clothes or wear a different hat? Why did you go to the extreme of having your body modified?
Because I wanted to look okay without clothes on.
Okay.
I wanted to be, I was quite good at covering myself with clothes, and I spent a lot of money on clothes and decided that I preferred tattoos.
Right, well, that's why.
So,
residual self-image is, if you've seen The Matrix, right? Residual self-image is when you look in the mirror, I am often surprised by the way I look, because that's not how I look in my head. So when you have tattoos, as a way of deflection, look at those tattoos rather than myself, because I'm still not happy with who I am, what I am, and I don't think I ever will be. I think that's an ongoing search throughout the whole of your life. So now, when you look at yourself and you see the congratulations, you see your self-congratulatory tattoos, but also your life tattoos. You've got a Queen tattoo because you love Freddie Mercury and you love Queen, and so it's all about self-congratulation, but in a positive way. It's all about the things you love now, and it's not about hiding.
Yeah, and it's permanent. Clothes aren't permanent.
No.
And I think I wanted to be confident in, be able to look at myself in the mirror when I was feeling a bit low and think, oh yeah, I've achieved that, oh I've done that, and it boosts my mood if I'm having a bad day.
Yep.
Rather than thinking, oh, I've got to put clothes and makeup on and stuff like that to feel good. It's like a constant reminder.
That's great. So the beautiful thing is that something that was so negative and also, almost self-destructive has now become something that's celebratory and positive for you. And that also shows your journey from being a negative human being inwardly to somebody who can now deal with your life and what's happening. So that's a beautiful example of somebody who has used tattooing both negatively and positively, which has kind of proved the whole reason for this show. So we might as well all go home now. So that's great. Nicky, thank you so much for doing this. If there's anything to be learned, or you want to say anything, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, if there was one thing that you could say to people who are thinking about tattooing instead of harming themselves or judging themselves or anything, what would you say to them?
I would say, I know someone else very special to me who has used piercings to help with this instead of self-harming, and it's definitely a better way of getting through bad times, and it gives you something. It's almost like you can look back on your life and say, yeah, I got through that, I survived that, and I have something attractive on me that makes me feel good about what I went through. And I think it makes you a stronger person when you going through something like that. So yeah, try and get a tattoo, get a piercing,
find something positive.
Find something positive in that,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much.
Okay.
We're done.